What's up, friends? Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com, live on Facebook, live on YouTube as well, with our technical director, Elijah Schmidt, and Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman, and I am appropriately dressed for the occasion. Algeria taking on Argentina tonight.
Viva l'Algerie!
Shout out to Big Lodge for picking up this scarf over at Rock Chalk Park.
Yeah.
You like
Clutch
it?
Move. It does look good.
Is it too Christmassy right now?
Well, you walked in. I said, "Are you cold?"
Yes.
Because
yes.
Nobody. But it does look good
It's
on
actually
you.
not.
Green is your color.
I think it is.
I think it is. You wear too much red and blue.
I know.
I think green. You need to switch it up every once in a while, like the Wisconsin Woodchucks.
Chuck, yeah, man. I got a orange rain jacket at Bass Pro Shops over the weekend because going to Canada for the fishing trip.
Sure.
And I didn't have a rain jacket. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do blue, black, or gray. I'm going to do something different.
So like orange, like how orange? Are you
It's
talking
pretty
highlighter or like?
It's pretty orange. Not as bad as highlighter, but you ain't going to miss me on a boat.
You should wear it on the show sometime.
I feel pretty good about wearing it on a boat because if I get lost, you'll be able to find me.
That's fair.
If I fall out of the
makes a
boat,
lot of sense.
you'll be able to find
But
me.
you do look good in that scarf.
I'm
for
excited.
anybody listening on ESPN Kansas City, he's wearing an Algeria scarf. Algeria soccer, as they are in Lawrence right now. I actually was by Rock Chalk Park yesterday, played a little basketball, and I accidentally pulled in, and it was road closed because they were having their practice out there at Rock Chalk Park. So, I didn't see anything, but I got turned around pretty quickly.
Well, they've made their way over to the City of Fountains as they are taking on Argentina, 8 o'clock. So here in just a couple hours, Algeria and Argentina. Leo Messi. I mean, that's just awesome for Arrowhead.
I know. That's really cool. He's played there before. FC Miami.
Yes.
Or Miami FC is what it is.
I want to say
Real Miami.
I want to say Miami FC. Miami FC sounds most correct. Yes, it is Miami FC. Yes,
yeah.
I know, but still, it's cool.
It's great.
World Cup, obviously, at Arrowhead. And, I'm cheering for Algeria, dude.
Me too.
I mean,
Viva l'Algerie.
Pretty big underdogs against Argentina. But, of course, we're in the pool play right now, so guaranteed 3 matches, and then of the 48 teams, you'll get down to 32 teams for the knockout round, elimination round, whatever you want to call it, which will start here in about a week and a half. So excited for that. But we're going to talk World Cup next segment. We're talking KU basketball here in the opening segment. Dan Courtwright got married and then went on his honeymoon, so he has not had a chance to give his reaction to the KU basketball Big 12 schedule matrix. Men's side, we can touch on the women's side if we have time as well. We'll get into that and get your reaction on who KU plays twice, who they play only at home, who they play only on the road. After World Cup chatter, we are going to talk KU4football. While you were gone, we also had a slew of guys commit to play football for Kansas in 2027. Right. And since I last broke the news, if you will, last week, one of those guys is no longer going to be a Jayhawk.
Right.
So discuss that as well. But another addition that you would have seen on our social media yesterday of a 2027 recruit. Inside the Crown with David Lesky. He will join us via Zoom at the beginning of next hour to talk about the Kansas City Royals. The record is 29-44. Not a lot of good to talk about literally all season. We'll see what Lesky has to say. Vinny Pasquantino is on the shelf. The hamate bone injury, that's no good either. And, you want to say, okay, let's just throw in the towel and give up, and then you're reminded that the wild card race is still very much a thing just because the American League is so bad. So we'll get Lesky's take on that and see if he can provide any semblance of optimism for Kansas City Royals baseball. Dan, Top 10 Tuesday has returned.
Yes, a Top 10 Tuesday. I know everyone was really bummed whenever Sean did a Top 12 Tuesday. It's just not the same. So we're bringing back Top 10 Tuesday. I'm doing my Top 10 things that people pretend to like.
And what's the story behind this?
This is one that I've been thinking about for a while.
Okay.
There's a lot of things where I just don't get it, and I understand that people have different tastes. I get that, but there are a lot of things where I'm just like, there's no way.
How much of this is food?
I think there's only one food thing on there.
What? Because immediately I thought blue cheese.
I like blue cheese.
Actually, I do too. But I like the blue cheese crumbles. I don't necessarily like blue cheese dressing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Actually,
it just adds a lot.
Blue cheese crumbles, I think, is good. But the blue cheese dressing, I'm not going to put that on my salad.
So I'm not a huge wrap guy. Like, my sister loves wraps, and I feel like my My wife loves a good like Southwest wrap. You get like, beans and the tortilla strips and corn and that sort of thing. And
You don't like wraps?
Wraps. I'm not a huge wrap guy. I'm a sandwich guy. I like sandwiches. So I'm going to do a buffalo chicken sandwich more often than not. But the last time I got a buffalo and blue wrap, here's what I did. It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
It comes with buffalo chicken, which you got to get crispy. I mean,
Of course.
I understand grilled chicken is the healthier option. Crispy is the way to go. You got tomatoes in there. You got, maybe some onion, whatever, some lettuce. What I did is I subbed out the blue cheese dressing, not for ranch, but for blue cheese crumbles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that
the
good?
blue cheese crumbles coagulating with the fried buffalo chicken is just a delicious
Coagulating.
bite. Yes.
Good
Let me
word.
see if I use
Good
that word
choice.
correctly.
No, I like that though. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I do like. I like blue cheese with a buffalo.
It's a coagulation process. Yep.
Blue cheese with a buffalo wing is good.
Yeah. See,
But I'm more of a ranch guy.
I'm more of a ranch guy. Yeah.
But I'm not going to put blue cheese dressing on my salad.
Right.
My dad loves blue cheese dressing.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
That is one of those things that as you get older,
Yeah.
you start liking a little bit more. But
See, that's
still.
the thing. That's surprising that you're not, because you're so old, and that's what I just.
Oh,
I kind of
okay. I didn't know where you were
assumed-
going with that. Gotcha.
I kind of just assumed that you like prune juice
Man, you forgot
and
to
oatmeal.
You forgot to say
A lot of
anything about me being
fiber.
old yesterday. Speaking of a lot of fiber,
Yeah.
grape nuts.
Yeah.
Brian Hawkins.
I
big
like grape
fan.
nuts.
Me too.
He had a giant bowl of grape nuts at the wedding.
Really? Very expensive. Doesn't taste like anything. I mean, just not very good.
I
but
like
it's
'em, though.
Nothing but fiber.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you got to buy them at like
Makes you
Costco.
poop.
But anyway, top 10 things that people pretend to like. And then we're going to close out the show talking a little Brendan Sorsby. Once again, he's in the news. Maybe he'll not be in the news now. And honestly, this was...
This got strung out way too long.
Yeah, and it was something that needed to happen. So I don't know what Texas Tech's going to do. Will Hammond's a good quarterback, so maybe he's going to be their guy. But Sorsby going to the NFL supplemental draft, and that just was a disaster. And there was going to be lawsuits 6 ways to Sunday had this continued. And then ultimately, after the fact, Tech was potentially going to lose wins that Sorsby was a part of. But yeah, what a mess for Texas Tech, the NCAA, and basically everybody. We'll talk about that to close out the show a little bit later today. KansasNation.com, the place to go. Of course, baseball season now in the rearview mirror, but anytime we have new shows, you can check them out at KansasNation.com or at the Kansas Nation on YouTube. Of course, we've got Painting the Hawks, Between Two Fountains, all sorts of podcasts. You can catch Rock Chalk Sports daily, of course, and if you miss anything, on YouTube, YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, and keep up to date on everything going on. We're going to be hearing from the basketball players, I assume, at some point this summer.
Yeah.
Social media at the Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Kansas Nation on Facebook. We'll have any press conferences, any sort of coverage here as the offseason rolls through. Dan, let's look at this Big 12 schedule matrix. I broke this down a little bit to open the show on Friday while you were out, but Kansas gets Baylor, Iowa State, and K-State twice each. Again, it's not as fun, maybe not as easy to break down when you don't have any familiarity with guys on these respective rosters. But those are the teams that Kansas will face twice. And then on the road, you get the two teams that right now are the only two teams in the Big 12 ranked higher than Kansas on Torvik 2027 projections. Houston and Arizona, both on the road, but both only once. What else do you pull out of this this email we got from Chris Tyson and the official release from KU breaking down the schedule matrix?
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Tyson, by the way. Does a hell
Salt
of a
of the
job. Salt of the earth. Great guy. I'll start off with
The bad news.
the home. No. I'll start off with the home and home. Obviously, when you look at it, I don't know, there's usually going to be 3, maybe 4 home and homes, right? I think it's never going to go over 4. Usually it'll only be 3, especially with, how they've kind of cut it down.
With 18, it'll only be 3.
It'll only be 3, yeah. So I do like the fact that I think that there's 2 that are solidified every single year. You're always going to see it, and it's going to be K-State and Iowa State, right? You cannot go KU basketball season without playing Iowa State and K-State twice. I think that's just going to be the default, the absolute, like, these teams are going to play, and then the other one's going to be kind of a rotational piece, right? Could be an Oklahoma State. I know that they like to have those classic Big 8 rivalries.
Sort of like a Jamari McDowell, just kind of a rotational piece.
Yeah, exactly. Which that's kind of how Oklahoma State is the Jamari McDowell of Big 12 teams. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? So this year we're getting Baylor, which is fine. Tuna Yesufu, by the way, coming back.
Going to
Baylor.
St. John's.
No, he's Yeah, he's coming back to college. He's going to St. John's.
Yes.
That's right. So who knows how Baylor's going to be this year. I do like the fact that it's Baylor. Baylor's always going to be good. Scott Drew is a very good coach. I understand that. They're going to have some good guys coming in. I like that. But, again, if you're talking about like major marquee matchups, like you're probably going to want a Houston or an Arizona or a Texas Tech or a BYU, like one of those teams to be the home and home, because I think that's going to be more fun. And if you're a TV executive, and I'm going to put my mind to the TV executive for a second, like those are the matchups you probably want. KU Baylor is going to be an awesome matchup. KU Iowa State is going to be an awesome matchup. KU K State, always a big one just because it's a rivalry game, right? So I like the fact that it's Baylor. Now, I want to look at the home games, because the home games, I do like these ones. These are the home games only. You get Arizona State, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, UCF, and West Virginia, right? So you don't have to go to Morgantown. That's always going to be tough. Doesn't matter how good West Virginia is. Doesn't matter if they're going to be at the bottom of the Big 12 or if they have nobody on their squad. Going out to Morgantown is always going to be incredibly tough. So I like the fact that we get them at home. Now, granted, they were Kansas's Big 12 home opener 2 years ago, and Kansas wound up losing to West Virginia at home on New Year's Eve. So that was not necessarily a fun game. You also get Texas Tech at home. Absolutely love that. Texas Tech's always going to be good. So you want them at home. Going out to Lubbock is always going to be tough. Oklahoma State, I like the fact that the Kansas is not going to Oklahoma State, just because there's always that weird loom. It's gotten off of his back probably over the last 10 years, but still it's always Bill Self played in Stillwater back in the 80s or whatever. Doesn't matter. I know, but still. So you like Oklahoma State coming here. Colorado's not going to be any good. Arizona State probably not going to be any good, even though we said that last year and Kansas wound up losing to them.
But to be fair, we were right. They weren't very good.
We were right. They were not very good, and Kansas still wound up losing to them. Now, for the bad news, I guess is what you could probably say, is the road games. You only get Arizona once in Tucson. You only get BYU once in Provo. You only get Houston once in Houston, and then you also have to go out to Cincinnati, to Fort Worth against TCU, and then to Salt Lake City against Utah, right? You feel okay about going out to Utah, even though Kansas, again, lost there a couple years ago. You feel okay about TCU. TCU, I think Jamie Dixon's still a really good coach. I think it's always going to be tough. I hate looking at their court. That's the only reason I hate that. It's just because it's that bright, like LED, it's almost like fluorescent white court. I just don't like it whatsoever. Houston, that's not going to be fun. Arizona, that's not going to be fun. BYU, that's not going to be fun. It might be a fun environment, but it's not going to be fun for the Jayhawks, right? BYU's not going to be as good as they were last year, right? I mean, they're losing AJ DeBonsa. They are bringing back Rob. Oh my gosh,
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until
Rob
you figure
Wright.
it. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I almost said Rob Wayne. I was like, that's not right.
Rob Wayne.
I don't know who Rob Wayne is. Rob Wright. They're bringing back Rob Wright, which is fine.
Robert Wayne.
Cincinnati, that can always be iffy, right? And I know they lost virtually everybody. They're bringing everybody back, or not bringing everybody back. They lost virtually everybody. They're bringing in a lot of new guys, so it's going to be impossible to say how that game is going to go. And then you're out at Tucson and Arizona. I mean, that's not going to be fun. So I like the home and home. Like I said, you get Baylor twice, Iowa State twice, K-State twice. You'd always assume that it's going to be Iowa State and K-State, and then some other team for a home and home. Probably going to be a classic Big 8, Big 12 school. That's what Baylor is. And then the road games, I mean, Kansas got kind of lucky last year just because of the fact that you got BYU once at home, right? You got Houston. Houston was not a home and home last year, was it?
No, it was 2 years ago.
Yes, 2 years ago it was a home and home.
Yeah,
so
you
the
had
road
BYU
game
and Houston at home.
Yeah,
last year.
the road games really do scare me. Just because of the fact that you only play these teams once. You only play Arizona, BYU, Houston once, and all of them are at their place. That scares you because if you play those games in Allen Fieldhouse, it's always going to be, doesn't matter how good or bad KU is, the atmosphere is going to bring Kansas up to the level, and Kansas is probably going to win those games, right? But it's also the flip side of it. So who knows? But I like the home games as well. Home games, those to me feel like a clean sweep. It should be every single year. and especially when you have the likes of Colorado and Oklahoma State and UCF coming into town, right? Those aren't going to be the best teams. Arizona State's probably not going to be good this year. West Virginia's going to be kind of fine. I mean, Ross Hodge has done a really good job in terms of getting some guys over there. So, yeah, I like the home games. Road games terrify me. And then the home and homes, absolutely love that you get Iowa State, K-State, and Baylor twice.
So let's look first at the home games. And, I might be repeating a few things that I said last week. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at the 6 teams that Kansas only plays at home, Arizona State, they're going to have a first-year head coach. Don't know what to expect out of them.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody, not that people forgot, but Kansas lost to Cincinnati at home. I think that was more of a one-off thing last year. Cincinnati was playing really well. A lot of times, like we talk about in sports, depends how this team is playing when you get them in. Depends how Kansas is playing. Kansas was playing terrible at the beginning of the year last year when they lost to UCF and West Virginia on the road, and then they were also playing terrible at the end when they lost to Arizona State. Kansas was playing great when you beat Houston, when you beat Arizona at home, Iowa State at home, all the good things. And, you want a little bit of a higher floor for KU ideally throughout the season. And I think this Kansas team will have a higher floor. But, yeah, Arizona State at home, you got to beat them. Colorado at home, that's an automatic win. It's got to be. Oklahoma State, Steve Lutz has done a great thing. That's a team who I think is clearly on the rise because they were very good for quite some time, and then have kind of been marinating bottom half of the conference, but you can tell that they're making some strides. Texas Tech, again, a team who's probably going to be in the top 25. I believe they're top 25 in Torvik right now, but they're losing a lot of talent. Kansas should win that game at home.
Yeah.
UCF, can't lose to UCF at home.
No.
West Virginia, not only can you not lose to them at home, again, talking about programs on the rise, a great hire in Ross Hodge. I remember at Big 12 Media Days in October, he was one of the few coaches that nobody was talking to. None of the media were talking to. First of all, we're a long way from West Virginia, but also he was, again, a first-year head coach who followed in the footsteps of Darren DeVries, who was a first-year head coach and then got hired away. An ultimate question mark in Ross Hodge. They end up winning the college basketball crown. They end up having a lot of success toward the end of the season. And honestly, they did it without an unbelievable amount of talent. I mean, Obioha is not playing in the NBA.
Right.
They found a ways to win, and they kind of got their mojo back as a West Virginia basketball program. Not only should Kansas win that game, though, at home, they should also win because West Virginia beat Kansas each of the last 2 years. KU hasn't beaten them since 2023. You lost last year, or I guess would have been 2020. Would that have been 2024? They would have beaten them?
Technically in January?
Technically, yeah. So 3 years, if you want to call it that, it'll be 3 years by the time we play them again. You lost in Morgantown, didn't play well. You lost the conference opener, which was, I believe, on New Year's Eve 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
December 31st, 2024, just a disastrous start. Kansas had won a ton of Big 12 openers at home in a row, and didn't happen as West Virginia came in here and beat us. So, yeah, it's been 3 seasons since Kansas beats them. That's a reason Kansas should beat them. But, again, home slate only, those are a bunch of wins. I mean, I guess you could lose to Texas Tech, but you don't like the idea of doing that because you should be better. You should be ranked higher and all that. That should be the only game, though, Dan, of those 6 games that's even quasi-losable, in my opinion.
Right.
That's how I'm looking at those 6 home games.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got ASU, Colorado, Oklahoma State, UCF, and West Virginia. Those games shouldn't be losable for Kansas when you're getting those teams at home. Texas Tech, that's a losable game because they're a very good program. They have been for a while. Grant McCaslin's a great coach, and they're going to have more talent than the other teams that I mentioned. Worst case scenario, 5-1 in those games. You should go 6-0. Then you look, and, K-State is not going to be any good. They've got a first-year head coach in Casey Alexander. They're losing a lot of talent as well.
Yeah.
That should be a win at home, unquestionably. You look at Baylor, a team coming off a bad season by their standard. Right now, Torvik has them at 44. That's a team you should beat at home. And then you've got Iowa State, their top 20. Torvik, still, it's hard for us to look at any game at Allen Fieldhouse and think Kansas should lose. So maybe it's not fair to say Kansas should go 9-0 at home. Maybe you drop one to Iowa State or Texas Tech. But to your point, given this home schedule, the 9 of the 18 games in the Big 12, you can't go worse than 8-1. If you're trying to compete for a Big 12 championship, particularly with how hard the road games are, you can't go worse than 8-1. Realistically, should plan on going 9-0, which is a lot to ask, understood. But that's how I see it. And then the road games, let's start with those teams I just mentioned. K-State, you should beat on the road. Baylor, Kansas has really struggled in Waco. They gave up 60 2 years ago in the second half to Rob Wright and Baylor. That'll be a tough game, and at Iowa State will be a tough game. Okay, if you lose to both Baylor and Iowa State on the road, even if you go 9-0 at home, you're looking at 9-2. Then those 3 road games you mentioned, BYU, Houston, Arizona, you can't just go out and lose all 3 of those games.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah, no,
if you're trying to be Kansas and win a Big 12 championship, then you're going to need to limit your losses, because we've seen, Dan, in recent years, you can't really lose more than 2 games, it seems like. As ridiculous as it sounds with how good Arizona and Houston have been the past couple seasons, I mean, 16-2, you'd feel good about, but that means maybe you're losing in Hilton and maybe you're losing at Arizona. Well, okay, if that happens, you got to win at Baylor, you got to win at BYU, and you got to win at Houston. Not to mention the other road games, which are Utah, TCU, and Cincinnati. You know, teams that were Utah was no good. Cincinnati was a fringe bubble team, and TCU was on the 8-9 line. So it's not going to be necessarily a layup. But if Kansas wants to win the Big 12, which is what we live for, Big 12 championships, and we won so many of them, maybe 15-3 is, I think a lot of fans right now would take 15-3.
Yeah.
Last year, Kansas went 12-6. The year before that, Kansas went, 11-9 in conference play?
Yes.
So 15-3 would be a big jump, but just looking at how good Arizona and Houston have been, the fact that they're both top 5 Torvik teams already, despite losing a lot of talented players, 15-3, okay, that means you got to win your games at home and limit the losses on the road, again, to maybe the teams that are top 20 Torvik, Iowa State, Houston, Arizona. Okay, I think people would understand if you lose those 3 games, but that's it if you want to win the Big 12 or be in the conversation.
Yeah, I agree, right? I think that in the Big 12, there's just no wiggle room. There's absolutely no wiggle room. And again, like you said, 15-3, it's hard to imagine a world where that's not good enough, but it's probably not going to be good enough to win you the Big 12 championship in the regular season, right? So you have to do a clean sweep at home, right? You have to be Arizona State, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, UCF, and West Virginia. I'm with you. I think that Texas Tech is the only semi-quasi losable game in the home games that are just home games, right? Then you have Iowa State coming into town. You feel okay about that, obviously, with going out to Hilton and how good Iowa State's been over the past couple of years. Who knows how that's going to be. But I think that you for sure beat them at home, right? You for sure beat K-State at home, and you for sure beat Baylor at home. So I think that if you drop 1 at home, probably it would be to Texas Tech. If you beat Texas Tech, that's great. You probably drop 1. I don't know where it's going to be. It could be Baylor. It could be, just a weird one against West Virginia. Again, they just had our number for the last few years. So that could be the case right there. But then when you're looking at the road games, again, it's going to be so hard to go out to Houston and to Arizona. That's going to be the only time you see these teams, aside from the fact that maybe you'll see them in the Big 12 tournament up in Kansas City. So I don't know. If I were to put a record on it, I think Kansas. Okay, so I think they virtually do a clean sweep. I think they drop 1 at home. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-1 at home, and then they lose to BYU. No, sorry, they lose to Arizona and Houston on the road. They beat BYU, they beat Cincinnati, they beat TCU, and they beat Utah. I think that they lose at Iowa State. So that's 15-3.
14-4.
14-4 right there. Which, again, probably just isn't good enough to win a Big 12 title, which is unfortunate. I think, like I said, there's no wiggle room in the Big 12. If you want to be a top caliber team, you're going to have to play as a top caliber team. You're going to have to be virtually undefeated, right? The last time Kansas went undefeated in the Big 12 play was what, 2003? Am I right about that?
2002, 16-0.
2002. That's right.
And no one's ever done it.
Yeah. Right.
Aside
No one's ever done it. Yeah, no one's ever done it aside from that. Right? Arizona, I mean, even, Kansas beat them in Allen Fieldhouse last year, which that
and then Texas Tech beat them at McHale.
That's right. So, there is that to be said
I
about
think,
it. But again, Arizona and Houston, to me, those are 2 loss teams.
I believe
and I think
that
if you lose those to them, then you lose a tiebreaker, and Kansas is going to be maybe third. I feel optimistic, though. I think it could potentially happen.
That's the other thing, the tiebreaker, and that really only matters in terms of seeding for the Big 12 tournament.
Sure.
But I think when I broke this down loosely last week, I ended up with 4 losses as well. I think a lot of KU fans, based on how the last 2 years have gone, would take the 14-4 record. Again, 12-6 last year, 11-9 2 years ago when Kansas was the 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. If you get yourself in the mindset that we were in for the majority of our lives, then you're thinking 16-2.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, okay, you lose to either Arizona or Houston.
Yeah.
And then drop one other one somewhere down the line.
Right.
Because you're Kansas. It's hard to go undefeated. You're going to lose to one of those teams on the road, but you're going to beat the other one because you're Kansas. And then you're probably going to drop one other one, whether it's at Iowa State or a weird one at K-State or something like that, 16-2. But again, like you said, there's no wiggle room. That's what's required in the Big 12. So, you can look at it and very, looking at it from afar, I think you have to live with the fact that you get BYU, Houston, and Arizona on the road only because you only have to face them once.
Yeah.
So I think you live with that. You get Baylor and K-State twice. Yeah, Baylor's probably going to be better than they were last year, but they were no good last year. That should be 4-0. I mean, when you look at the opponents, Baylor, K-State, Iowa State, that should be 5-1. The opponents you face only at home, that should be 6-0. So there's 11-1. You split the road games, which would mean that you beat the average to bad teams and lose to all of the good teams. Then you're 14-4, which, who knows what Vegas thinks, but I would say that's probably somewhat accurate to what they think.
Where does that put you, though? I mean, you beat all the bad teams, but you lose to all the good teams.
It puts you on 3 or 4 seed, and again, in the NCAA tournament, puts you on the 3-4 line, probably. Right. Kansas has more winnable games in the non-conference than they have in the past, so that'll be good in terms of wins, you would hope. Hopefully not worse than 12-2 in the non-con. And if you go to the Big 12 tournament with only 6 losses and a record of what would then be 26-6, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So if Kansas can do a 12-2 non-con and a 14-4 conference, then yeah, that's pretty good. But
6 losses
you want to get back, as I know everybody does, to the mindset of let's just not settle for being the 3rd or 4th best team in the conference.
Right. And that's the thing about, Kansas fans and the Big 12 in general is that the Big 12 is so damn hard, right? That's no surprise to anyone. The Big 12 is the toughest basketball conference in the world. And when you look at it through the lens that we're looking at it, which I think is sort of a realistic look at it, is, Kansas could get 3rd place. I mean, they could get 1st place in the Big 12 regular season. I think that would be excellent if they were able to do that. They'd only have to drop 2. Realistically, you have to only lose 2 games probably to make sure that you win the Big 12 championship, just because the teams at the top are so good. And Kansas is up there too, right? Kansas fans have been so spoiled over the past decade and a half where they were winning all of these Big 12 championships outright for 14 straight years, and they're always in the conversation. There's nothing wrong with finishing 2nd or 3rd place in the Big 12. It's still not out of the realm of possibility that Kansas can still win it. I mean, you have really talented players on this Kansas basketball team, right? You have Talon Kinney, you have Tyron Stokes, right? You have Cole Rosario, you have Leroy Blyden, all these guys surrounding you, Dennis Parker Jr., right? You have all these guys surrounding you that I think that this is a team that's capable of winning the Big 12 championship. And again, we don't know anything. We thought Baylor was going to be incredible this year. They turned out to not be, even though they had 2 guys who are going to go in the NBA draft, potential first-round draft picks, and Tunde Yesufu and Carr, right? Obviously, Yesufu is coming back to college and going to St. John's. So you don't ever know what exactly is going to happen. But when you look at the guys that Kansas have, and I guess they do have a relatively thin front court. When you look at Paul Mbia and Christian Reeves, there's a giant question mark there, right? And they're potentially looking at another guy, Malik Ewan, but also who knows if he's going to get a waiver of eligibility to come and play. I understand that that's something that the coaches are kind of working through in the NCAA and Kansas and all that different kind of stuff, right? But I still think Kansas has the quality of guard play and the serviceable big men in order to make a run at the Big 12 title.
Hey, after this, we're going to talk a little World Cup, as there were 4 matches yesterday, and all 4 ended up in draws, including a shocking one to open the action here. USA, Canada, Mexico hosting World Cup 2026. So we'll talk about that and talk about the action today on the pitch as well. World Cup chatter, Algeria and Argentina tonight at 8 p.m. in Kansas City. More coming up. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Copa Mundial. It is, what day are we? Day, I don't know, 6 or something? 5, 6.
Did it start on Thursday?
World Cup, we had 4 matches yesterday. How about all 4 ending in draws?
I know.
What is that about?
So, Spain.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, we could talk about this.
We didn't talk about it yesterday. We were otherwise engaged.
Yeah, but we were watching the game, and we were we recorded it during the Spain-Cape Verde game, which, we will pre-record the show sometimes, and it was going on, and it was like in the 89th minute. And we're like, how is this game still 0-0?
Yeah.
And I saw something about it where here's the stats, the shots. Hold on, I got to pull up the shots.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's actually an unbelievable thing. So
7 shots on goal for Spain.
7 shots on goal for Spain, 1 for Cape Verde. 27 total shots for Spain. None of them went in. Only 6 shots for Cape Verde. They had 8 blocked shots blocked for against Spain. And then Cape Verde, their goalie,
40. I had him when he was in elementary school.
Yes, you did. That's right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, their goalkeeper, Vozina. No,
go for it.
Vozina. Is that how you say it?
I am really excited for us to talk World Cup for the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, because I just want to hear you try to pronounce names.
Vozina.
You're bad with names in general.
Vozina.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not that bad at names. Shasheen. Okay, I'm not that.
Shasheen.
40 years old.
Yep.
40 years old.
I remember
blocked
him when he was
8
a
of the
little
shots. They had 27 shots. 7 of them were on goal. 8 shots were blocked.
What's crazy is Cape Verde could have won at the end, too. They had their 1 shot on goal.
Yeah.
Like down the stretch.
I know. That's the thing. So, I mean, congratulations to them. By the way, I heard this on, I think I heard this on Sports Radio 810 WHB, that Cape Verde, their total population is just a little bit bigger than Wichita.
Yeah.
There's like 590,000 people who live in Cape
Spain's like
Verde.
50 million or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a ridiculous amount. And, you're able to pull a ragtag group of guys from Cape Verde, which I believe is a set of islands in Western Africa. I don't believe it's on the actual continent.
Overview.
I don't believe it's on the actual continent. I think it's a set of islands. It's in Western Africa.
It is among the least populous countries in Africa. It looks gorgeous this time of year.
Yeah.
How about this?
That's good. Where's this game played, by the way?
In Portuguese Cabo Verde.
We were trying to figure that out.
In the central Atlantic Ocean off the coast of West Africa.
So I was right. It is a...
That's just a tiny... That is crazy, man.
Yeah,
That is crazy that they were able to play to a draw.
It's unbelievable. Spain was, presumed to be the favorite, right?
Spain and France were, the kind of joint favorites.
Yeah, Spain, France, Germany's also always around there. I know England is up there, but they're never going to win it again. They're like, who should I relate them to? Spain. They're like the Chicago Bears. Maybe the Cincinnati Reds would be a good, because they invented soccer, and they've just never done anything. And they're always their whole big thing in England is, the cup, it's coming home, because soccer was essentially invented in England. And they always say, it's coming home. It's never. I think they've won once.
I'm looking it up right now.
How many times has England won the World Cup?
Has England won the World Cup? I don't know. I'm on Spain. You can look up England.
How many times?
Okay, so yeah, Spain won in
One time in
20
1966.
2010 for Spain.
Okay.
66 was
England.
England. Okay.
Yeah. But that's their whole thing. Oh, it's coming back. What?
Yeah, man.
It's never going to. But yeah, all of them were draws, which is kind of crazy to me. Uruguay and Saudi Arabia. I thought Saudi Arabia was supposed to be pretty good at soccer. Uruguay also is pretty good at
Yes,
soccer,
they
too.
They are.
Iran and New Zealand.
And
I don't think
that's
either one of
honestly-
those teams are going to make it a run.
That's
but
a good
still.
result for Spain, too. That
Yeah.
Uruguay and Saudi Arabia are also in a situation where they didn't get 3 points.
Right.
Because in pool play, so 32 of the 48 teams advance, like I talked about. So my understanding is of the 12 groups, the top 2 from each group, and then the 8 highest scoring remaining teams advance to the elimination round, the knockout round. So Spain is still fine. I mean, they went from plus 450 to win it to like plus 500 by losing that.
I can't believe we didn't, because U.S. played on Friday. We haven't talked about that yet.
We haven't.
Just absolutely killed Paraguay.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
I mean, it was like,
established dominance early.
yeah. Number 20 for the U.S. I can't remember his name, but he was incredible. I think he scored 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Then Paraguay.
Were you watching this one in Mexico?
I was watching this one in Mexico. They had this room. It had this big soccer ball that you like walked through, and they had this big TV up, and we watched the game. I watched the game with a bunch of other U.S. soccer fans as well, and we were all going crazy, high-fiving each other.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name now that I say that, but Balogun
Yeah, Balogun
is his name. Yeah, a couple.
Florian Balogun
Fullerin Balogun. He had a
Yes.
couple.
had 2 goals. I know Paraguay had
Reina
an
had a
own
goal late.
And
Yeah, and that was the own goal was the other one. So,
Yeah. That was the first one that
USA, Man,
happened.
this may be the strongest USA team
that was
we've
the
seen.
first. That was the first that was the first time the U.S. had scored multiple goals in a World Cup game since 1930, the very first World Cup.
That's
against also
a crazy nugget.
also against Paraguay, which is
That
very
is a
strange.
crazy nugget.
By the
Never
way-
scored more than 2. Is that true?
Haven't scored more than 2
Since 1930?
1930.
That's insane.
Look that up. I'm relatively certain that
I'll
that's,
trust you on that
I heard
one.
that. I
I'll
heard that
trust
on
you
the
on that one.
broadcast. By the way, I met a nice gentleman from Uzbekistan. They actually play tomorrow. Nice gentleman from Uzbekistan on the excursion to Chichen Itza. He was there. He took like a month off work.
Really?
He worked for like Uzbekistani government.
So he's been doing this for years. He's been saving up, preparing for this.
He was like maybe my age,
So he's on
maybe
his way
a
to where?
little bit older, like 30. He was in Mexico, but Uzbekistan plays against
And are they in Mexico?
Colombia.
Are they
yes,
playing in
they
Mexico?
play in
Okay.
Mexico City, but he was in Cancun, just hanging out.
That's
in
awesome.
Cancun, then was going to Mexico City, and then he said Uzbekistan. The next game was going to be played in Houston, and he was going to travel up to Houston for that next game. He was going to meet a bunch of friends in Mexico City, but he just took like a whole month off of work. He's like, I'm just taking the whole month off.
I mean, that's like
taking
a
vacation.
lifetime type trip.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. So shout out to him. Uzbekistan is their first time ever in the World Cup, so he said he had to go.
Yeah.
He absolutely had to go. Just his name was Ahmed. Shout out to Ahmed. But for today,
Yeah, we've got
Viva Algeria.
Group I and Group J.
Yes.
Group I, France will battle Senegal, and at the time that we're breaking this down, that match is probably concluded because we're pre-recording the show right now. But that's 2 p.m. today, and then Iraq and Norway, 5 p.m. getting underway very shortly. Argentina, Algeria, as we've said, is a 8 p.m. kickoff, and then Austria and Jordan, 11 p.m. kickoff. Those are Group J, as I said. And then Group K and Group L will finally get underway. That'll be tomorrow beginning at noon. Portugal and the Democratic Republic of the Congo will kick things off at noon tomorrow. K and L. And then we start the second round of everything. Give the standings updates here for the other groups. Mexico and South Korea got victories on Thursday, which was the first day of the World Cup. They each have 3 points in Group A. Czechia and South Africa find themselves scoreless. A bunch of draws in Group B: Switzerland, Canada, Qatar, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then Group C, it's Scotland.
Is it Herzegovina? I thought it was Herzegovina.
I asked Elijah last week. Herzegovina.
Herzegovina. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
News to me.
Scotland,
Brazil.
Group C.
By the way, we didn't even talk about Brazil drawing with Morocco.
They did.
That's also
That was
crazy.
less of a shock, but still a shock.
Sure.
3 points for Scotland in Group C. Morocco and Brazil did have that draw. They get 1 point, and Haiti, no points through one match. Group D, USA and Australia both picked up victories. Again, 4 goals for the USA was great. Turkey and Paraguay, no points.
Hold on. I saved this on just to go back to the Cape Verde Spain game. Somebody on Kalshi bet $2,312,333 on Cape Verde to not win over Spain.
To not win. So they won.
I don't know. So
whoever bet that
so
won.
So the payout was about $89,000.
That's risky,
on a
man.
$2 million bet.
And they had that kick late.
I think that they wound up. It either wound up pushing, or I think they wound up winning because of the fact that Cape Verde did not win.
Yeah, they didn't win, so you should win.
No win. Yes, but I did see somebody else bet $1 million on Spain to win.
Yeah, to win like what, 10 grand or something?
Yeah, I mean nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, can you imagine watching that game, having the Cape Verde to not win, and the fact that because we were watching that when we could, Spain was living on Cape Verde's side of the field.
Oh, absolutely.
They had. It seemed like, I know they had only officially 7 shots on goal and 20-something shots total. It seemed like they were taking shots every minute or so, similar to your 21st birthday. But this is a little bit of a different spot for Spain to be. Germany and the Ivory Coast both picked up victories in Group E. They both have 3 points. Ecuador and Curacao lost. Shout out to Ivory Coast, by the way, stealing one at the 11th hour against Ecuador. Group F, Sweden is in the driver's seat as they have 3 points. They knocked off Tunisia. Japan and Netherlands played to a draw. They have 1 point. And then in Group G, these were games that took place yesterday. Group G, Group H, nothing but draws. New Zealand, Iran, Belgium, and Egypt in Group G, and Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Spain, and Cabo Verde in Group H. Again, Group I and Group J, which includes Algeria. That's going to be action today, and then K and L to close out. Everybody having their first match will be tomorrow.
I have another weird nugget for you. I heard this on the broadcast. So I was watching ABC when I was in Mexico, and somehow they got the New York station, ABC. It was Channel 7 in New York.
Let's hear it for New York.
They were, yes. So they were... I don't know why it was. They had the Channel 7 New York station in Mexico, but they did, which is fine. And that was actually really fun to watch because, you watched the Knicks win the finals, and then I stayed up afterwards and watched the New York broadcast.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. But I turned it on in the morning, and they had a special about MetLife Stadium, or not MetLife Stadium. It's actually now New Jersey, New York Stadium. It was New York Stadium, and then they changed it to New York, New Jersey Stadium.
That's right.
And then New Jersey said, hey, whoa, wait a minute. This game's being played in East Rutherford, partner. So we're going to change the name again to New Jersey, New York Stadium. They wanted New Jersey to have the top billing.
Kansas City Stadium.
Kansas City Stadium. Also, there was Boston Stadium. Actually, I don't know if it's Boston or Foxborough Stadium.
Yeah. Why were they doing that?
So they're not, by the way, the Kansas City one confuses me because Kansas City is not sponsored by anybody. It's Arrowhead. But the reason they're doing that is because like Levi's and MetLife and NRG and all these other stadiums, they're not official FIFA sponsors. So you have to completely cover those up.
I see.
And you can't have those sponsored stadiums. So they completely covered up the Arrowhead sign outside of Kansas City. They completely covered up the MetLife sign outside of MetLife Stadium. Same with Levi's. Same with, all the different
Interesting.
SoFi is another one. So
politics, am I right?
Just kind of, right.
Yeah. Hey, we're all focused on Algeria and Argentina tonight at 8. I mean, we're cheering for Algeria. You have to. They're our local Lawrence team, but I know a lot of people in Kansas City are high on Argentina as well.
They have a really nice player. Algeria does.
They do. And you missed it last week because they were over at Allen Fieldhouse, David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium, Hoagland Ballpark.
Right.
Yeah. So
Riyad Mahrez. He actually won the EPL.
Got a great jump shot as well.
Yeah, I did see that.
Jayhawk football. We're talking after this on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com.
Hi, my name is Augusto Mungarrieta from Kansas Baseball, and you're watching kansasnation.com.
The grass is growing fast and the savings are growing even faster at Heinen. Dominate the season with this limited time offer on the all-star lineup of Ferris zero-turn mowers and Heinen Repair and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Get up to $1,000 instant rebate on a Ferris zero-turn mower. Flexible financing options available with approved credit. Offer ends June 30th. For details and big savings, see Heinen Repair in Valley Falls and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
With Heinen, there's always hope for your yard.
Wherever you're headed, there's a Volkswagen for the way you live. Get a $3,500 customer bonus on the 2026 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. $2,500 customer bonus on 2026 Tiguan models.
Ultimate pool party sale at Family Leisure. Let us help you create the ultimate outdoor space. Jump into summer with exceptional deals on pools. Enhance the party with goggles, pool floats, toys, and outdoor games at guaranteed lowest prices. Dozens of in-stock sun loungers to choose from. Multiple shade solutions to choose from. Spas and swim spas at unbeatable prices. Add the finishing touch with an outdoor kitchen or pool grill. Ultimate pool party sale going on right now at Family Leisure.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Want to shout out Miles Schnare and his team over at Crown Automotive. You can check them out online at crownautomotive.com, or if you're in the market for a used vehicle, they have a great selection as well. You can schedule Volkswagen service online, schedule Toyota service online. Again, new and used vehicles, new Toyotas, new Volkswagens. Check them out on South Iowa in Lawrence or online at crownautomotive.com, our founding partners here at Kansas Nation. Dan Courtwright went through a lot of football commits while you were gone last week. Kansas got 6. They technically got 7, but since Nazir Pitchford is no longer going to be coming to KU, he is now a commit to the University of North Carolina. Kansas was at 6 a couple weekends ago of guys who visited and committed, and then an additional one last week. I'll let you give your take on these guys. A little bit later in the week, we can break them down more in full and maybe look more from a positional standpoint for Jayhawk football 2027. But these guys, yes, will be high school seniors next year. Hawks are bringing in a wide receiver, Malik Brown, an edge prospect in C.J. Johnson Jr., another wideout, Tavares Powell, an athlete/linebacker, depending on where you look, and Elliott Neff, defensive lineman Quentin Dorsey, wide receiver Jay Williams, and then recently a new linebacker committed, and that was just yesterday, Jamarcus Hudson. So 7 new Jayhawks, class of 2027.
Yeah, Jamarcus Hudson just committed yesterday. This is a big-time get for Kansas. He had 16 Power 4 offers, around top 30 ranking in his position per 24/7 Sports. Still a 3-star, depending on where you look, could potentially bump up to that 4-star. Needs a lot of weight to be put on him. He's 6'2", 186 pounds, plays linebacker. So you would have to imagine that he's a quick guy, really good in coverage, maybe not like the middle linebacker, run up the nose and meet a fullback right up the middle kind of guy, but still a really nice pickup for Kansas. I like the way that this class is shaping up right now because it's all 3-stars when you look at it. 3 stars and a 4-star if you take into account Mason Oglesby because he's a 4-star on some outlets, 3-star on some other ones. Mason Oglesby kind of highlights it. He's a tight end recruit coming out of New Palestine, Indiana. Jamarcus Hudson is the second highest recruit in this class. Clarence Johnson Jr., who's an edge rusher coming out of Cretin Durham Hall, Minnesota. Really nice size to him, 6'4", 225 pounds. Again, probably needs to get a little bit more size to him. Reminds you a little bit of Dean Miller.
Yes.
Whenever you kind of look at the body type, but still, they were able to put some weight on these guys. And again, they're still growing, right? These guys are essentially juniors going into their senior year, right? So a lot of these guys still have a good deal of growing into their body to do. But again, the I don't know, the measurables are there. I guess when you look at the size and the weight and, the athletic ability that a lot of these guys have. Jamarcus Johnson is one of those guys who I think really athletic, reminds you a little bit of Josh Galbraith, I think. Again, still needs to put on some weight. And I think Josh Galbraith needs to put on some weight too, but that's a guy I can see playing almost right away. But when you look at the way that this is kind of shaping up, right, you have 16 hard commits. You have Mason Oglesby, who's really good, tight end. Clarence Johnson, like I said, the edge rusher coming out of Minnesota. He's going to be really fun to watch. Chance Thomas, the 3-star quarterback out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's going to be playing at Bishop Gorman this year. Was in California, but he's transferring over to Bishop Gorman. Talk about football powerhouses. That's one of the top 5, top 10 high schools in all of America to go to, right? So that's going to be fun to see Chance Thomas be able to show out in Las Vegas. Dang Tong coming over from Oak Park in Kansas City, wide receiver. Again, just another really nice commitment there. He committed back in March. Braden Graves coming out of Cypress, Texas, 6'1" safety, 190 pounds, really like his size as well, right? Quentin Dorsey, that's one of the newer commits coming out of Aurora, Colorado. Plays D-line, 6'3", 240 pounds. Again, just one of those guys you need a little bit more weight on. 240 pounds is not going to be enough weight to be playing sort of in that middle. Listed as D-line, could potentially play edge. He's a guy who can kind of get in there and muck it up, if you will. You also have Malik Brown, wide receiver out of Chapel Hill, Texas, 6'3", 185. You like that size in a wide receiver, 6'3", guy who can really high point the ball. Tavares Powell, another wide receiver coming out of Florida, 6 foot, 170, little scat back kind of guy. Reminds you a little bit of Cam Pickett. Just, again, you look at the weights on these guys, just know that they are all going to go up. So you really like what you're seeing out of a majority of these guys. Richie Dexter, he's an offensive tackle, 6'7", 320 pounds, and we didn't really talk about him. Arizona, massive dude, offensive tackle. That's a 3-star guy, like I said, coming out of Hamilton, Arizona. 6'7". That's going to play. That dog will hunt, if you will, as some people might say. And then Elliot Neff, like you said, another athlete, 200 pounds, 6'3", really solid linebacker / athlete, if you will. And then Jay Williams, another wide receiver, 6'5", 190 pounds. That's a guy that will be a nice piece. He's from Long Beach, California. Like I said, 6'5", can high point the ball, 3-star guy, 84 ranking on 24/7 Sports, 208th nationally ranked wide receiver at his position. So you like all of these guys coming in, and this class is really shaping up. And it's interesting because it's kind of a hard pivot away from what we saw last year, where Kansas is going hard at all these Kansas guys. Now I think Kansas is getting into the realm of, hey, we're going to look outside of Kansas, and we're going to find these 3-star, 4-star kids who are going to come in and kind of reshape this program and continue to build this program.
You're right. It is very different because KU, of course, was able to bring in a lot of in-state talent, which they still have the opportunity to do. Talked about this last week as well, but KU viewed very highly 24/7 Sports in terms of rankings in the Big 12 2027 recruiting class. Believe at the time that Kansas initially had Pitchford and not Hudson, and before some of the other programs got some more commits from 2027 guys, KU was 4th in the 16-team conference. KU still high, 6th in the 16-team Big 12 conference, according to 24/7 Sports in terms of 2027 commits. So there's a lot to like. I think undoubtedly there's a lot of momentum, a lot of optimism around guys like C.J. Johnson, Clarence Johnson Jr., an edge guy, and, of course, Mason Oglesby. Those guys, occasionally you'll see 4 stars next to their names. So talent coming in. And, one thing that you briefly touched on, the fact that KU's bringing in 3 wide receivers, and I know we only have a minute or so to wrap this up before we bring on David Lesky. We'll talk more KU football the rest of this week, but you're going to lose Nick McMillan, in all likelihood. You're going to lose Nazay Cox. You're going to lose Cam Pickett. So you're bringing in guys not only in this current class, like we're excited about with Nate Sims, for example, but Malik Brown, a wide receiver, Jay Williams, a wide receiver, Tavares Powell, a wide receiver. That's going to be an important area for Kansas to hit on here in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think wide receiver is going to be a big one, and I think it's good that they're getting young wide receivers in now, right? Because you don't want to continue to go out and find these transfer guys. Obviously, it's better to do that for I guess, short term because of the fact that, hey, you have these guys who are more experienced. They're 20, 21 years old. They already put some size on them. They've already been in college, right? So you want those guys to come in right away, but also it's good to develop guys in the program, and I think that's what Kansas is doing, and they're hitting that hard right now with this class.
With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card, a simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. Learn more about Jayhawk checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. That's jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Hey, if you're listening over on ESPN Kansas City, that's going to do it for today. Make sure you flip over live on Facebook, live on YouTube, Kansas Nation or kansasnation.com to catch the rest of the show. We've got David Lesky to talk Royals baseball inside the crown. Coming up next, we've got a Top 10 Tuesday and much more on Rock Chalk Sports. If you're listening on ESPN Kansas City, check us back out tomorrow from 4 to 6. But if you're watching on kansasnation.com, more coming up. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here at kansasnation.com, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Crown Automotive, our founding partners here at Kansas Nation. Check them out online at crownautomotive.com or give them a visit on South Iowa in Lawrence. If you are wanting a new Corolla, a new Camry, Tundra, RAV4, whatever it is, they can help you out over at Crown. Miles Schneer and his team, the best service staff and sales staff in all the land. So appreciate them and helping us out here at Kansas Nation. All right, we're going to be joined on Zoom now by David Lesky inside the Crown to talk Royals baseball. David, what do you want to talk about today, man? Can we talk about something else? Because every time I get even a little bit excited, it seems like something bad happens. There's just a lot of bad right now. There's injuries. There's pitchers giving up a ton of runs. It's just a mess right now. Royals are 15 under 500.
Yeah, it's brutal. And, it's funny, too, because, last night, I saw a bunch of people how could Quatrero leave Mitch Spence in for the 5th inning? And I'm going, Mitch Spence is starting a game. I don't care what the result is. I'm sorry, I just don't. If Mitch Spence is starting games, the season is off the rails. The season's off the rails, guys. It's fine. It is what it is. We can lament it, and we can talk about ways to fix it, and we can talk about where they went wrong and where they could have gone right, and what wasn't anybody's fault, what was their fault, all this stuff. But the reality is, we can't control it, and they have reached a point in this season, and there was the 6-2 to start the month when they you open against that big win against the Reds, and then that road trip, and then the first game of the Texas series. You look at that and you go, okay, this is their chance. They do have an opportunity if they get crazy hot. We talked about it, 37 games, whatever it was at the time, and now it's less than that. And then they let's see, what's the word I can use here? They pooped it away. And it is nobody wants to hear this, but it's just kind of the reality of what happened. And now, they were already without Cole Reagans. They were already without Chris Bubich. They were already out without Carlos Estevez. Now Kyle Isbell is hurt now for a long time. Vinny Pasquantino's hurt now for, I don't know if it's a long time or a while, however you want to describe it, but he's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. Isbell, I don't know if we'll see him again this year. I know that there's timelines indicate that we should, but plantar fasciitis is weird, and grade 3 is really tough. And we've gotten to a point that this is the miracle isn't happening. And now, I wrote about this. I've said this before, but the metrics for success change, and they go from did you win to what did you learn? And if you learned something, you had success even within failure. So that's where they are. And, quite frankly, it sucks. But
yeah.
It's the reality of the situation that we have literally no control over.
How do you continue as a player to lace them up? It's your job. I get that. That's what you do. Guys who hate losing, though, up and down this roster with Salvi and Bobby and Michael Garcia, it's frustrating. They all are smart enough individuals to understand that it's not normal. Now you got Lugo hurt, of course. He took the 100+ mile an hour liner off of his head and went on the 7-day IL, and that was one of the reasons that Spence was in there. But, injuries are piling up. Guys are not producing. I just have to imagine it's difficult inside the clubhouse for guys to stay optimistic and enjoy playing baseball, which they've done all their life.
It is tough. And like, think back to 2023 when they lost 106 games. And I mean, I talked about this quite a bit throughout that season, that I think it said a lot about the leadership in the clubhouse, both the manager and coaching staff and the players, that they didn't quit. And I think we were kind of given an example of a team that did quit just a year later when the White Sox, I mean, they quit. But there's no question about it. That team, when they lost 121 games, they gave up. And so, no, you don't get a cookie for doing your job, but also it's possible to not do your job. And we've seen both ways in the American League Central in the last few years. The difference, though, is that team hadn't won. Bobby Witt Jr. came up and they lost. I can't remember what the record was in 22, but I think they were like 73 and 89, maybe sounds right. Maybe it was 74 and 88. I think they lost fewer than 90 games, which was a big deal, actually. But they hadn't won. Now they've won. You know, Vinny Pasquantino, he's out, but he's been in the playoffs. Witt's been in the playoffs. Garcia's been in the playoffs. They were over 500 last year. So I'll be curious to see how a lot of these guys react to a losing season, in a season that you feel like is over. Now, the message in the clubhouse, in my opinion, probably shouldn't change. It should probably be like, look, the American League still stinks. We still could go on a run if, you know, we stabilize the bull bubble, all this stuff. If I'm Vinny Pasquantino or whoever's leading that clubhouse while he's injured from the player side, that's my message. Dude, this is not over. We don't have to agree with it, but that's how you stay not complacent. But it's a challenge because, again, this is a group of guys who have won and now they're not. And it's a little bit different than a group of guys who haven't won and are not, because they're still striving to something. But the reality, too, is baseball, yes, is a team sport, and they can talk about all they want. Oh, he did a great job of moving the runner over. It was team baseball. If you perform individually, if everybody performs individually, even when they're not working, quote unquote, as a team, you're going to win games. And so the reality is, if you're Salvador Perez, I'm going to hit a bunch of home runs because I need to get to 350 to be a lock for the Hall of Fame, which I think that's the number. If you're Bobby Witt Jr., I'm going to get a bunch of hits because I want to get I'm on my way to a Hall of Fame career. I'm on my way to 3,000 hits. I'm on my way to all the, and truly he is. With obviously there's so much time to go that we can't say he will get there, but all these guys, look out for yourself, get your individual numbers. You're going to make more money. All these things, I think, can motivate without winning. It's just winning is the ultimate motivator, and they just don't have that right now.
Yeah, 100%. David Lesky from Inside the Crown, insidethecrown.substack.com. Be sure to give him a subscription. And I wanted to ask you about, one of the leaders on this squad, Vinny Pasquantino, presumably going to be out. I saw something that said 6 weeks.
Yeah,
they did bring up, is it 6 weeks?
Well, the hamate generally, he has a fracture.
Okay, yeah.
And that's generally 4 to 6 weeks. It can change. Like Corbin Carroll, when did he get hurt? Do you remember in spring training? He was back. I want to say
it was late February, wasn't it?
Was that when he got? I mean, so some guys get back a little quicker than others. Jackson Holiday, for example, there were 3 hamate injuries early in the year in spring training. It was Holiday, Carroll, and who was the third?
Cattell? No, it wasn't.
No, it doesn't matter. Regardless, they all came back at different times.
Yeah,
and so. Like 4 to 6 weeks, so it probably puts him back around the deadline, ish. I'm looking. Yeah. Let's see. Corbin Carroll was
February 11th.
Yeah. So and I think he was back for opening day, which it's about 6 weeks. So I think that's probably a safe bet for Vinny.
Well, I don't know if silver lining is probably not the right word for this. Obviously, you want Vinny out there, but they brought up John Rave to presumably go to the outfield and then move Cags to first base. We didn't see Cags out there at first base yesterday against the Nationals, but you saw Salvi out there. You're probably hoping that Salvi goes and plays DH. I guess, is this going to be a good thing for Cags to be kind of in the infield and, get that play back in the infield? Because you feel like maybe he's more comfortable out there. I don't know if that's necessarily a silver lining that you kind of want to look at in this sense of it.
Well, I don't know if it's a silver lining, but it's an interesting scenario that they have now because yes, they brought up John Ray. My guess is that what we saw Caglione in right field last night. My guess is we will tonight as well against another lefty. I think that he's going to be the right fielder in the lefty lineup because he's playing every day now against every pitcher, which he needs to be able to get Marte and Salvi both on the field with Jensen as well catching in all likelihood. I think that's what makes the most sense there. So it'll be tomorrow against a righty. I think Caglione will probably play first base against most righties with Rave in right field and Cameron Meisner in center field. And what I think is interesting about this from the Royals' long-term perspective is if they're going to play Caglione at first base more often, well, let me back up. If they wanted Jack Caglione to be their right fielder for the next 5 years, if they said we're gonna get Vinny a deal, he's under team control for 2 more years after this one, then we're gonna sign him up for 3 more. That's our plan. Caglione's gonna play right field the whole time. We'll figure it out later. I don't know that you move him to first base on a semi-regular basis. I feel like you keep him in a position that he's still learning and let somebody, Salvi plays first, Nick Lofton plays first. At this point, I hate to say it, but who cares? They're 15 games under 500. It doesn't really matter who plays where. You're not affecting the season, the results. But if you're putting him at first base, that signals to me, hey, we might trade Vinny. We might be willing to move him, and not at the deadline in all likelihood, because I think that the hamate injuries sap power so much that I think it would be very difficult with his timeline to move him unless he comes back on like July 27th and hits 4 homers in 4 days and teams are like, we're good, don't worry. I think it's more of an off-season move, but I do wonder if that signals, hey, we're prepared to break up this team a little bit because what we've got doesn't work. And I don't know that you can definitively say it doesn't work. It hasn't worked this year, obviously. But maybe they're a little more willing to move around some pieces that they thought were part of the core. So that's really interesting. But the Isbell injury and the Pasquantino injury, I think, are interesting because it gives them an opportunity to see Cameron Meisner and to see John Rave. And people will say, who needs to see John Rave? We saw him last year. Agreed. And I was not a fan. I did not. I don't see a big league regular. I'll tell you right now. But also, he's a guy who takes a pitch. He makes pretty good contact. He can play good defense. I mean, there's a non-zero chance there's a regular in there. And why not get the opportunity to look at him? And Meisner is a very similar. The contact isn't quite there. He strikes out quite a bit. He has a little more power, I think, than John Rave, at least natural power, raw power, I mean. But get a look because everybody says, well, where's our Ryan O'Hearn? It could be Cameron Meisner. I would never predict it because these guys are 28 and haven't made it for a reason. But you never know. And this is going back to like, okay, well, success is no longer winning. Success is this. And part of what success is now for this organization for the rest of the year is determining, can Cameron Meisner be something? Can John Rave be something? Can Nick Lofton be more than a utility infielder? Can Michael Massey hit? Can this, that, what, all this stuff? Can Isaac Collins can we rely on Isaac Collins in left field next year? Or does he need to be the 4th outfielder next year? All these questions. And that's how you're going to find success the rest of the season is evaluating that moving into 2027.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up, potentially moving some pieces because last time I talked to you was 2 weeks ago. I was out last week for my honeymoon, but I wanted to get your thoughts on. I didn't know that's
why you were out. Congrats.
What was that?
I didn't know that's why you were out. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. It was in Cancun. It was awesome.
Terrible. Sounds awful.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of the trade deadline, obviously approaching, I asked you 2 weeks ago if it's too early to determine whether or not we're buyers or sellers. To me, I think you start to look at selling off right now. Is there a list of guys that are absolutely, they're not taking any calls on anybody, right? Obviously you have Bobby in there, but at the same time, it feels like kind of everyone's up for grabs. Like you talked about with Vinny. Vinny, to me, seemed like one of those guys who was completely untouchable. Now it's kind of like, well, maybe we'll see. I guess, are there any guys in your mind that the Royals are absolutely not going to be looking at to ship off?
They're not trading Bobby Witt. right?
Yeah.
So that's the easy one. I think the only other one they wouldn't move is Michael Garcia. And part of that is a business thing, right? Like you can't. I say this a lot, and people push back a lot, but it's also true. It's very it's difficult to give a guy a contract extension and then move him in the first year of that extension and not look bad to the rest of the league. And it's not so much like, oh, we don't want to have a bad look. No, it's they don't really care what the fans think, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's like they're not making decisions because the fans like a guy. They did before. Dayton Moore absolutely did that. Um, but it's a bad look to other players that, hey, we're going to give you a 5-year extension. And by the way, 3 months later, we're going to trade you. Who's signing an extension at that point? Because the whole reason you sign an extension is because you want to stay with that organization. And you're willing to, want to, whatever, however you want to put it. To not do that, to not let them stay is a really bad look. So I don't think they would trade Garcia. I don't think they want to anyway. And partially, I think you're trading low at this point, the way he's been playing this year. So that's not the best idea either. But I think from a business perspective, everybody else, I mean, I don't think they're going to trade Caglione, but I think if they were blown away by an offer, they would. I don't think they're going to trade Carter Jensen, but if they were blown away, they would. Salvi's probably another one who's not going anywhere. I mean, he made that decision. I have a hard time finding a team that would want him
Yeah.
for what
That's
it would take.
unfortunate.
So that's part of it too. But honestly, everybody else, I mean, you look up and down the roster, they may not be making calls and offering these players, but if they got the offer, I don't think there's anybody else they would say, absolutely not, you can't have it.
David Lesky, Inside the Crown, joining us. Yeah, and the bottom line is the losses have been piling up, and there are a lot of teams out there who could use a guy like Seth Lugo or any piece in the bullpen like Daniel Lynch. I mean, there are teams who those are attractive guys for them, and that's sad because we want those guys on our team. We want to be contributors. Kind of holistically, when you look at this, David, this is still a roster that, when healthy, has a lot of talent and was projected to compete for the AL Central. In your mind, is this just kind of a one-off year, whereas if the Royals return the core for next season, they're going to be back in that same conversation? Because there have been a lot of guys who have just underperformed this year on top of all the injuries.
Yeah, the answer is yes and no, which I know is sitting on the fence, but I'm going to do it anyway, no matter how much it hurts. But the problem, the reason it's no, I'll start with that. The reason that it's not, that they need to do some serious work, is a big part of why people thought, okay, the Royals can win the division is because you've got Cole Reagans, who is a legitimate ace, and you've got Chris Bubich, who pitched like a legitimate ace for 20 starts last year before he got hurt, and they're both back healthy. I don't think you can count on either of them ever again. And part of it, Bubich is a free agent, which he might be gone anyway. Although his latest setback, I think, probably makes it more likely that he's with the Royals again on like a minor league deal. But I don't think they have the top end starting pitching that we thought they did moving into 2027. From that perspective, it's a no. But also, I do feel like some of this is just stuff happens. Seasons happen, bad years happen. It's not the end of the world. I mean, this is an organization that won, I think it was the 12th most games from between 24 and 25 in baseball. They were 86 and 76 and 82 and 80, one trip to the playoffs. I mean, it's an organization that clearly had the right foundation in place, and this has been a big step back. But also, I do think that the core is there to be good. For me, I'm making deals. I'm trading players off. We're reimagining the organization a little bit. Resetting maybe is the right way to put it. Not a rebuild. I don't think a rebuild is necessary. Any deal I make, though, I'm getting a guy in high A or double A or whatever who throws 100. And to me, the biggest issue, there are so many issues with this team, but one of the biggest issues with this team is the bullpen, and they just don't have the high octane arms that every other organization seems to have. Yes, Steven Cruz, and he looked really good lately and throwing 100, all that. But I'm getting multiple guys who throw 100, and you put 10 of them in the organization, maybe one of them sticks. Okay, great. You got one more than you had before. I think that's a big strategy. I was looking yesterday. There are 16 games I found that I think the bullpen had as big of an impact as any other part of the game. That in a loss, 16 losses that the bullpen impacted. If you win half of those, I know this is a big if game, but they're 29 and 44, right? Is that their record? 29 and 44. You win half of those, you're 37 and 36. And our conversation is they just got to get some guys back. Got to get some guys healthy, tread water, and then they can make a run. But the bullpen, I know people want to talk about the offense and the starting pitching injuries. The bullpen has been so horrendous. And here's the good news. It's the easiest thing to fix. It's the quickest fix in baseball. Got to get it right. It's not necessarily easy. It's just the easiest thing. I think that to me, the tactic is you get that bullpen fixed. You figure out. I feel good about this organization with starting pitching, even without the ace. I think they need to go get somebody who you don't mind starting game one of a playoff series. Like I wouldn't put Michael Walk out there and feel good about it. Let's be real. But I think that fix the bullpen and a lot of the issues seem a lot smaller.
Yeah, well, you got to feel decent about the fact that you still have a good young core offensively. I mean, Witt and Garcia are both 26. Caglione's 23. Jensen's 22. I mean, these are guys who we're confident are real guys, are going to be real guys, and we know it's not going to be perfect every year, but a lot of talent. And yeah, the bullpen, that's been a disaster. That's how the Royals built those championship-winning teams back in 14 and 15, is having guys who throw hard and get important outs at the end of games. So we understand it's not gone well, but American League's bad. I'm going to hold on to a little sliver of hope. Still 7.5 back of the wild card, despite literally the worst.
Miracles can happen.
What's
it's
that?
Possible. Miracles could happen. It's possible.
It could.
I don't know, I'm looking at roster resource right now. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking at the rotation. Michael Wacha's starting pitcher 1, Luinder Avila 2, Cameron's 3, Kolek is 4, Mitch Spence is 5. It's hard to imagine a miracle with that rotation, but
it is.
Hey, Kolek and Cameron have been bright spots. Cameron had a rough start, but there are positives. It's just you got to look for them a little harder.
Yeah, and Kolek, if I'm not mistaken, he came over in the Freddie Fermin deal, right?
Yep, he was.
So I mean, that's a win.
Huge win. The other thing too, real quick, sorry, but Steven Zobak is back pitching in AA now. So I'm pretty sure he was going to debut last year had he not gotten hurt. He's finally back healthy, so hopefully he can stay healthy and we'll see him. Maybe he's an answer moving forward too.
Yeah, hope so. And yeah, there are guys who just haven't played well. Of course, Pasquantino is going to be shelved for a while, but Garcia is the number one guy you look at, and Salvi, of course, that may be something different when you're talking about Father Time a little bit. But yeah, some other guys have just not performed. Isaac Collins is better, I think, offensively than he's shown, and that I thought was a big win of the offseason, getting Collins and Mears over, and it just doesn't work out always as you draw it up on paper. David Lesky, InsideTheCrown.substack.com. He's got over 5,000 subscribers. Give him a subscription. Really appreciate him coming on Rock Chalk Sports every Tuesday. David, have a great week. Let's get some wins and some good vibes.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
All right, you got it. David Lesky joining us here on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, it's a Top 10 Tuesday coming up right here on KansasNation.com. Custom Lawn and Landscape, sponsors of us here at Kansas Nation, and they sponsored our Kansas baseball updates all season long. How fun was the KU baseball season? The Men's College World Series is rolling. Oklahoma picked up a win over Georgia last night. Big one for the Sooners. KU fell just shy of making their way to Omaha. But Custom Lawn, they will answer the call every time. Nothing ruins time outside faster than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. That's why families trust Custom Lawn and Landscape to help keep their lawns beautiful and protected all season long. Their home insect control program helps defend your yard from those pesky bugs so your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. Right now, when you sign up for the season, your first application is absolutely free. That's right, your first application free with Custom Lawn and Landscape. It's a simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your free first application with a seasonal insect control program, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Custom Lawn and Landscape. Dan, RIP to Top 12 Tuesday, as I enjoyed that last week, but you are back, so we're going to slim it down to a top 10, and I am looking forward to this.
Yes, it's going to be a fun one. You didn't give me a good explanation as to why you did top 12.
I wanted to not be like you.
So you just wanted to go two more.
And, I came up with a lot of things that I liked about going to the lake.
Sure.
And
well, Nick Springer said it was like a top 20, because you kept on doing slash.
No, there were a few slashes in there.
Slash.
A few slashes, but I'll admit to that. But yeah, and a few honorable mentions, as always. But sometimes, you got to extend it a little bit. Top 12 Tuesday has a great ring to it, though.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But we're back with a slimmed down version of a Top 12 Tuesday. We're doing a Top 10 Tuesday. And for this one, I'm doing my top 10 things that people pretend to like.
We decided blue cheese is not on this. People
Blue
actually
cheese
like
not
blue
on
cheese.
it. I like blue cheese crumbles. So
I'm
I think
very
that's
annoyed that you don't have more food ones. I feel like food would have littered my list had I made
I
one.
have. I actually have one food thing, and it's actually in my honorable mentions.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I got a lot of really good stuff on here. Let's go ahead and start it off with number 10 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like. I'm going to go with commuting to work.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've had a number of people, because I know I had a buddy who he worked in Osage City, but he lived in Ottawa. It's about a 45-minute drive every single day to and from. He said, oh, it's nice. I get to decompress. I get to kind of get my mind ready for work on the way there, and then on the way back, I get to decompress. And it's like, no. Here's the thing. I do not like commuting whatsoever.
No.
And I know you don't. If you go, I like the commute to work. I know you don't. I know you're tricking yourself, and you're lying to yourself to make it seem like it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
I hate commuting.
Totally agree. It's either their place of work has brainwashed them into thinking it, or perhaps a family member has brainwashed them into thinking it. Perhaps they've read some articles of other people who have to commute to work.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Carbondale, Kansas, which is about 15-ish to 20 minutes away from Topeka. There's not a lot of places to work in Carbondale unless you worked at the school or at Casey's. So everyone else would drive to Topeka every day. So I lived in a commuter town. My dad would drive to Topeka every single day. And I know he had to have just hated that. If you have a tough day at work, you're like, oh, now I got to get in my car and drive for 20 minutes. I just want to be home now. My commute to work right now is 7 minutes, about 6.5, 7 minutes, depending on how many lights I hit. I don't like it. I want
totally
to be home right away.
I am totally with you. And it is funny because Carbondale to Topeka is 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So, I totally agree. But people say that all the time. In morning time, people will say, oh, it's great. I can warm up for the day.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't.
Same.
I am huge. And this is one thing about me that you probably know. I don't like wasting my own time.
Yeah.
And it costs me a lot of times because I'm late.
Sure.
But,
yes.
but
you are a running late person.
I don't want to mess around.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'm not just going to, do whatever. And, maybe if I'm really tired at the end of the night, I'll just lay down and put off something. But it's if it's in the middle of the day, it's bam. I got something I got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturdays,
absolutely.
it's bam. We're playing with my daughters, and then we're going to gymnastics, and then we're coming home, and then it's okay, lunch, dishes, get a workout in, shower, get on the road. That's very much how it is.
Yeah.
And I have never liked the idea of commuting.
I hate it.
You and I complain all the time about when we have to travel for work, which isn't very often.
It's not very often. You're right.
But I live 10 minutes away from here, 14 minutes max from here if I miss all the lights, and I hate it. I'm this is taking forever to get home.
It's just awful.
This would be higher on my list, I think.
I know. That's the thing. I don't know. There's some people who love it. There's some people who are like, oh yeah, it gives me time to. And here's the thing. You can listen to Stephen St. John in the morning and Sir and Petro after work. That's great, and I do that still on my road trip home. But I listen to about I listen to about 7 minutes of Stephen St. John every morning. And I listen to about 7 minutes of Seren Petro every day.
And then you catch him on the podcast after.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
810WHP.com.
Number 9 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like. Another work-related one, work retreats.
Oh, man. I don't pretend to like those.
So I have only been on one. Let me think. I've only been on one. Work parties are different. I do actually think I like work parties.
Me too.
Because they're fun and usually free food.
Because it's after hours. And you get food.
But also,
you can unwind a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Work retreats, I've been on one where it was an old job of mine. Shout out to Southeast Kansas Works. We went to Paola for the day. And we just sat in this place, and they were telling us, we did some personality test, and they're like, isn't this so much fun? We're out of the office. It's great. It's yeah. I had to spend an hour in the car to drive to Paola to sit in this room and have this random stranger tell me how I need to do a better job at changing my personality to fit my work style better.
Terrible.
It's awful.
Terrible.
It's,
I don't even like the supposed fun ones.
Right.
We're going to go to this outdoor retreat where there's zip lining.
Trust
I'm not doing that.
falls. Yeah.
It's and just games. Oh, Man, the worst. Okay, so we talk about how the best 2 words in sports are Game 7.
Yeah.
The worst 2 words in life, small group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that involves a small group.
Right.
We're going to break out into small groups.
No, I know. Well, and that's the thing is, like, if you've ever worked in an office before, like, I again, this is the old job that I had like 1, maybe 2, like, people that I really, enjoyed hanging out with. The rest of them were just coworkers of mine. Kind of like Sean is to me. He's just a coworker.
Yeah. I consider us colleagues.
Well, colleagues. I don't know. You're an associate. You're here and I'm here. But it's like I don't want to be like I don't know. I don't want to be doing a trust fall with Linda from accounting or whatever. Like it's just weird and it's always awkward and I just hate them and it's like
terrible.
I just like if I'm going to be doing this, like just send me home. Like I don't want to do it.
Right.
I actually we did like a personality quiz and it was so funny because for my job the personality that you were supposed to have was supposed to be like analytically minded and like organized.
Wait, you're telling me you're not those things?
I'm not those things at all. And I did the personality test and it was like creative and like different things, and they're like, oh, so you're like the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing in this job. I was like, thanks. And then I quit that job like a month later.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. This sucks.
Makes
and they were
sense.
like, well, can you just like change, like you can get more, you can put the creative side away
if you can
and
just
get more
change your face
change
as well.
Everything about you to get better at this job that's paying you $14 an hour. I was like, nope, not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So I quit. I just don't like work retreats. Work retreats are people like them. Again, I don't. Number 8 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like. I'm going to go with the board game Monopoly.
I like Monopoly.
I don't like it.
I'm a big fan.
It's stupid, and I don't like it at all. And
Elijah, you dabble in Monopoly? Doesn't like it.
Didn't like it. See,
what about Kansasopoly?
I had Kansasopoly as a kid.
Yeah.
And guess what? Didn't understand it. I didn't.
Do you know how to play Monopoly? Let's ask that.
Yes, I do know how to play Monopoly. I didn't understand the whole, like long-term capitalism of the game back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I understood it. I understand it now. I don't know.
I like it, man. Sign me up for a 6-hour-long board game.
I played it like 5 times in high school one time, and all of it was like in the span of like 2 weeks. It was just like my friends got on this weird Monopoly kick.
Yeah.
I was playing. I was like, yeah, it's fine, but also I don't want to sit here for 3 hours and like try to accumulate all the money and acquire Park Place. Like I don't care about that.
You know a great game that I know you have experience with?
What?
Mousetrap.
I do have experience. I do have experience in Mousetrap. That's
back when you were about 6, right?
That's a story that I cannot.
That is a great game.
That's a story I cannot tell on the radio. Maybe I'll tell it some other time. But yes, I do have
Shout
experience.
out to Cindy Long, by the way.
I do have to, shout out to Josh Long.
All right,
that's an inside joke. I can't tell that story right now. But yes, I do not like the board game Monopoly.
Whereas Mousetrap is more of a drop everything.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. Don't
number 7.
Can't be doing this on the show, man. It's a bad memory that I have as a child with Mousetrap. Anyway, moving on to number 7. Number 7. I think you're not gonna like this one either. Number 7 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like: IPAs.
I love IPAs.
I hate them IPAs so much.
I am a huge IPA fan.
Why? They taste.
Oh, because I like the way they taste.
They taste like They taste what I would imagine the bottom of a garbage disposal tastes like.
So, when you grow up,
you'll
understand what it's like to drink a real beer.
You'll
get there at some point.
No, here's the thing. Sean always talks trash on me for liking Michelob Ultra, and we talked about this. We did a blind taste test, and you loved Michelob Ultra. It was your favorite one.
I don't like how you call them Michelobs. That's not correct.
Michelob.
No.
Give me a Michelob. Hand me a Michelob right now.
That's weird.
I don't like IPAs. They're terrible.
IPAs they're single white IPA. Shout out to Boulevard if you want to advertise with us. Boulevard.
They're smelly. They don't taste good.
So usually
they're heavy. They always give me hangovers.
I'm in the mood for a domestic 9 times out of 10. I am.
Sure.
And of course, I mean Busch Light on that front.
I don't like Tank 7s. I hate Tank 7s.
Tank 7s, I'm not a huge fan of.
I do not like them.
But if I want a craft beer, a good craft beer, I'm going with an IPA. Shout out also Free State Yakamaniac. Fantastic beer. Storm
Yak
Chaser,
might be
solid,
the only
not
one
as
that
good.
I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah, Yakamaniac, dude.
Yak's
it's good.
fine.
It's good. I do understand that being on this list because some people are weird about it, but I
like
actually
them.
enjoy IPAs.
Well, and
I don't really like wheat.
The people who really like IPAs will not shut up about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I know
they're
the type.
they're drinking them for breakfast, and they're like, oh yeah, it's got a hints of oak and bark. It's like, yeah, well, because it tastes like trees.
I'm not a huge wheat guy. I just decided, and I remember it was being such a hot take because people were like, "Oh, Boulevard wheat."
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be my first choice.
There's a Radius. They have a William Allen wheat.
I had the
William
Radius
Allen White was from-
pomegranate or whatever it was at your rehearsal.
Yeah, it was good. Sour beer.
What was it?
I'm a big sour beer guy.
Yeah, sour beer's good.
I like sour beer. Hate IPAs. I don't know why. And that's when I genuinely think people they're lying to me. They are lying to me when they say you are lying. You do not like IPAs. You just want to seem sophisticated. That's what it is. You don't want to be. You don't want to.
It is a sophisticated.
All
man's
I
beer.
drink is Busch Light. Oh, let me switch it up and let me get a little bit more sophisticated. I'll drink an IPA. Why? It tastes like garbage.
I would never go from a Busch Light to an IPA. That's sinful.
It's awful. Awful.
All right, number
awful.
6.
I hate IPAs. Number 6 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like: graduations.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I hate graduations. I don't like sitting there and watching a graduation.
Yeah.
Who likes sitting there and watching You have your kid.
They are terrible.
Imagine having because I have my last name starts with C, so I was at the beginning-ish of my graduation. I can't imagine.
Then did your family leave after you went?
They should have.
Yeah.
I almost did.
They didn't want to stick around for.
No, the college graduation is high school graduation for me was okay because there were only like 60 people in my class. So it was kind of quick, went through okay. College graduation, like no chance. Dude, that was unbearably long. I was sitting there. It was my own graduation. I was sitting there. They got to about letter K. Yeah. And I just I pulled up my phone. I was like, I can't sit through this. I mean, I want to leave. I want to leave now.
I am not wanting to stick around at a graduation to watch Kevin Ziegler shake the hand of the guy handing him his diploma. I was in the middle, so I feel like you earned it a little bit more when you get to the K.
Sure.
Because it's like, all right, this sucks. But once I get to the K, all right, I've been here plenty of times.
Exactly. We know what it is. Yeah. I don't care about old Jerry Zimmer or whoever. You know what I mean?
Totally. Totally. Great pull.
Thank you.
I will say, I think it was Gerald, actually.
Jerome. Yeah. It was actually Jerome. Jerome Zimmer.
So I like graduation parties.
Yeah. Graduation party.
Yeah,
but let me get to the graduation.
Games. Yes.
Let me get to the graduation party. Once I'm done, I want to leave. Yeah. I'm out. And I know plenty of people who did that. I know plenty of people whose last name started with A. Guess what they did? They walked across the stage and then they left. And I appreciate that. And if I'm going to a graduation of like a cousin of mine, you want me to go to a graduation for my second cousin that I kind of know?
I'm busy that day.
And oh, sorry guys. I'll catch you at the party. I'll catch you at the graduation party.
Yeah. I'll make sure to swing by. I'll bring you a card.
I'll bring you a card. I'll catch you there. I don't want to sit through your graduation.
Number 5
on my top 10 things that people pretend to like: newborn babies. You're not going to like this.
I like newborn babies.
I don't.
When they're mine, I like them a lot.
Sure. Absolutely. And I don't understand that. I don't get it because I don't have a baby of my own. Every newborn baby that I've seen,
which is two.
Except for yours, for the sake of you sitting in punching distance from me.
When did you ever see my newborn baby, though?
You showed me pictures.
Okay. That's right. You pretended to think that she was cute, even though she actually is the cutest baby ever.
Newborn babies are ugly. They're little aliens, and I don't like them.
Is this a stab at your sister? Because those are the only 2 newborns that you've met in person.
That's not true. I've met plenty of newborns in person.
Your sister has great kids. Great-looking kids.
Yeah, good-looking kids. They're fun.
Shout out to Dalton,
guess what?
by the way.
Guess what? They're 1 and 4. Mm-hmm. And when you get to, I'll say...
walking?
7 months.
Okay.
7 months is when they start to get cute.
Claire is 6 months, and she's pretty cute right now. She's pretty cute. You remember the 2 days I had off?
I do.
For
paternity
when we had Claire.
Yes.
And I sent you pictures, and you said she's adorable.
Yes.
And she is.
Yes.
So is it that you don't like the looks of newborn babies?
I lied to you. I don't like any newborn baby. They're disgusting. They always have like dry skin.
Wow.
They're ugly. Again,
true.
this is don't
define
pretend I'm not wrong about this.
So in your mind, a newborn is 0 months to 7 months.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong. But
No,
okay.
I'm not saying. But I'm saying 7 months is when they start to get
Okay.
cuter.
All right. And then their
not
toddler they
crazy
start
to-
hitting you and throwing stuff.
Yeah, and that's fun.
That's not fun.
You can play with them. Also,
not
I don't know
fun.
what to do with a newborn baby. You hand me a newborn baby.
You hold it.
Yeah, I know, but like it doesn't like.
You hold the
once
baby.
once that baby can go
You
give
do
me a
not-
beer,
you
then
do
I'll
not
then I'll
kiss
start
it, though.
like
You do not kiss a newborn baby
don't
unless
kiss a
you are
newborn baby.
that baby's child or that baby's father.
I don't think I've ever kissed it. Well, why though? Is that like a thing?
RSV. Yeah.
RSV.
You don't want to spread
Okay,
diseases.
that makes a lot.
Number
of sense.
4.
Babies are newborn babies. They're ugly.
Adorable,
I
man.
don't like
They're the
them.
cutest.
Number 4. On my top 10 things that people pretend to like, I'm going with baths. Don't like baths. When's the last time you took a bath?
Forever ago because it's too difficult to get out of the bath. I am too like.
God, you are old.
I
aren't
don't
you?
have a bath.
What, you got a
that
railing in there?
I don't have a bath that can envelop. I don't have any money, so I can't have, big jacuzzi bath to where it's
Sure.
comfortable in there.
See, I don't even like that. I don't like
See,
baths.
I'd be fine with that.
I'm
fine with that.
I'm fidgety. I'm too fidgety of a person.
Yeah.
And I don't like, because I'll be moving around. I'll slosh around, get all over the. Give me a shower every day, all day, every day. I want a shower. Now, there have been days where after a long night out, I've sat down in the shower, but I didn't take a bath.
After a long night out.
Like the morning after, I'll sit down in the shower.
Ah.
But I don't like baths. I don't like baths. People oh, it's relaxing. Oh, the bubbles.
Did
And
you-
they light candles.
Have you seen
And they're sitting. They have like a book that's getting wet.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, rest and relaxation. That's not relaxing.
It
I
might
don't
be
like
relaxing
sitting in.
if
I don't
I
like
had-
sitting in hot water in my own filth.
If I had you shower
In the world's
first.
smallest
you shower
pool.
first. You get the filth off of you, and then you sit in the bath.
You shower first,
You
then just
shower
get out of the
first.
shower.
No, but it's a relaxing. You got the bubbles. You got the bath salts. You got. I don't know. My wife takes
By
baths.
the way, weird story. I in my old college house, shut to 612 Union Street in Emporia, Kansas. We had a clawfoot tub, and I was taking a shower in it. And the clawfoot tub, all 4 of the legs burst out from underneath, and the tub fell.
Oh God!
Like probably a foot, and it was the scariest moment of my life.
I'm sure.
I thought
Have
I
you
was
seen-
I thought I was going through.
Have
the
you seen
floor.
the bathroom upstairs at Guffler Mansion?
Yeah.
The bath, it's like a standalone, but then they've got a shower head. So
That's how.
dude, it's one of the funniest stories from
That's-
your wedding weekend that I haven't told you about.
Okay.
Like I had to take a quasi shower because I was worried the girls were all getting ready in the other bath.
Did they have a hook on it, or
It
you just had
the
to?
thing.
You
It
just
had the
to,
thing. So I'm like, doing a somersault in the bathtub, trying to wash my hair.
Oh, no.
And oh my God, it was like water everywhere,
spraying it
all over
everywhere.
the tile. Yeah, it was
It's
great.
awful. I've been. That was how it was in my Emporia house too.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It's like what? It's like how do you clean without making a mess?
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 3.
It's hard. I hate baths. Number 3, similar to baths, but number 3 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like: cold plunges.
Oh, I hate those.
See,
Yeah, not interested.
and that's like the Joe Rogan, and if you listen to Joe Rogan, whatever, but like the guys who are like, oh, I'm a big tough guy, and oh yeah, cold plunge, it gets my blood flowing. I'm sure it does, but you know what? It sucks. Oh, I love a cold plunge.
I
No, you
want nothing
don't.
to do with it.
You
I do
don't-
love a good hot tub.
People don't like cold plunges. You know what people like? The feeling of after a cold plunge when you get out. Because I've done a cold plunge before, and when you get out, it feels okay. But the act of doing a cold plunge is absolutely maybe the worst thing in the entire world. I hate it so
Horrible.
much. Hate it. We did one in Cancun. We did a spa day.
Did you really?
Yeah, so we did they did a thing where it's like you sit in a sauna for 15 minutes, and then you go out and you do a cold plunge, and you get right back in the sauna.
Huh.
I hated it so much. They're like, oh, it's
You're
supposed to be
like, I just wanna
relaxing,
stay
and
in
it's
the
supposed to,
sauna.
yeah. I was like, this is
Like,
awful.
I just want to take a shower and put my clothes on.
Like, get in the cold plunge. No, I don't want to. And then
What was
maybe
it
get in
supposed
the
to
cold-
do?
It's supposed to like the discrepancy in like the temperature. Like it's super hot to super cold, back to super hot. It's supposed to be good for your body. I didn't like it. It sucked.
Huh.
I didn't like it at all. If you like cold plunges, good for you. But you're lying to yourself
Yeah.
because
And
they're
you're lying
terrible.
to us.
You're at an ice bath, like a true ice bath. Terrible. Just awful. I hate them. I don't know.
Don't want 'em.
I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, I love a cold plunge. No, you don't. Nobody likes it. It hurts. It makes you cold and shivery. I don't like it. Number 2 on my top 10 things that people pretend to like: gender reveal parties.
Oh my God, yeah. Or
I hate them.
Do you have this at all? Can I add this respectfully? Baby showers.
Yeah. / baby showers, wedding
bridal
showers. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Awful.
Gender reveal parties / dude.
Gender reveal parties are the worst of all of them.
Oh,
if you invite me to a gender reveal party, guess what? I'm busy.
November 10th, and all you want to do is watch Panthers Giants.
Oh.
And at 2 p.m. until 5 p.m., you have to go to Brittany's cousin's farmhouse and bring a gift and dress nice to make sure that you are supporting their upcoming nuptials or their baby.
Yeah.
I mean, a fall Sunday when you're already ruining the week ahead.
Yeah.
A fall Sunday that you just want to watch football to put a cap on your weekend. You got to go to Brittany's cousin's farmhouse.
Here's the thing.
To celebrate.
If you're gonna do anything for a gender reveal, text me. Text me what the gender is. I don't care. Text
Better
me.
Put it on socials. People do that all the time.
do a photo shoot.
That's fine.
Do a photo shoot.
That's
just
cute.
you and your significant other, and you cut into a piece of cake, and it's pink. Congratulations. Then I'll like it on Facebook. Other than that,
it works.
I don't want to go.
People do put on their bells and whistles though.
Unless
you have to, because then when people put it on for you, you're very grateful. So you got to show up.
Yeah.
Dude, just like, and this might be your number one, kids' birthday parties.
I hate them. That's not number one for me.
But you got to go because you want them to come to your kid so that your kid feels special.
See, I'm not at that point yet because my friends.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I know. But I've been to 1-year-old birthday parties.
Yeah, you're going to Colin's kid's 1-year birthday party, I imagine.
God, I'm sure I am. And it's not going to be fun.
Shout out to Colin and
Allie.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah, they brought their baby with them.
They did.
And,
cute little baby. Oh my gosh.
Well,
what was her name?
Elise.
Elise, okay. Small baby.
It's newborn. I don't think it's very cute.
You didn't hold her, did you?
I hope Colin doesn't listen to
Colin,
this.
your baby is very cute.
Newborn babies are not cute. I'm sure he thinks it. I'm sure you thought your babies were cute.
I also thought
other
Colin's
people
baby is
do
cute
not
because
think your
babies
newborn
are
baby
cute.
is cute. Babies get cute around 6 to 7 months.
Man, I'm gonna get an earful. If my parents are listening to the way that you're speaking about their granddaughters, that'll be the last that you hear.
Claire's cute. Claire's gotten cute.
From the Kellerman
She's
family.
gotten cute. She is
Rude.
just now to the point where she's gotten cute.
Rude.
Number 1, drum roll. On my top 10 things that people pretend to like: martinis.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Because I have a running theory about martinis. I think I've said this on the show before.
Fruity martinis are good.
So that's not a martini.
And I love regular olives. Olives are good too.
So I don't like olives.
Yeah, you're a hater.
So what a martini is essentially is the worst fruit, because it is technically a fruit in the world, olives. The worst alcohol in the world, which is gin. And the
I
worst...
thought it was vodka.
No. Well, sometimes it's vodka, sometimes
love
it's gin.
Love olives, by the way.
I hate gin. I
Gin
absolutely
supporters,
hate gin.
stand up.
And then
you're not drinking
it's
good gin.
Vermouth, which is the worst probably thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get.
You throw that into maybe the world's worst cup. It might as well be a plate, because the martini glasses don't make sense to me at all. They're an awkward shape. I have a running theory. Number 1A is that rich people are playing a big trick on all of us poor people into making us think that they actually like these martinis. They're like, haha, these poor people don't know that these actually suck, but we're going to, whatever. Or B, the second running theory that I have is that your taste buds change when you get into a certain tax bracket.
The blue cheese effect.
The blue cheese effect is exactly right. Caviar is another good example of this. I don't like caviar, but once you get into a certain tax bracket, you start to like martinis. You start to like caviar. You start to like shark fin soup. All the weird rich people things that people like to embellish it. Champagne is another good example. I don't like champagne. I do not like champagne unless there's orange juice in it.
New segment idea: the blue cheese effect.
The blue cheese effect. That's good.
You got any honorable mentions?
I have 2. I talked to Elijah about this actually before the show. Getting a haircut. I don't like getting my haircut. I don't
like when people touch my head.
I like having my haircut, afterwards.
Yeah.
Where you go, okay, this feels nice. This is great. But I'm a talker. And I'm a flamboyant. Is that the right word?
Yes, that is the right word. That is the right word.
I like to turn and I like to look at you in the face and I like to use my hands
That's
whenever
not
I'm
the
talking
right
to people. If my barber's talking to me, I feel so, because I don't want to turn my head and it goes zoop, and they like mess it up.
That is way, way not as bad as when the dentist is talking to you, the hygienist.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. But nobody likes going to the dentist.
How's the family?
Nobody likes going to the dentist. But, people like getting haircuts. I don't like getting my haircut.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the fact that I have to sit completely still with my arms here, and they're like, so what do you do for work? And I don't want to talk because I feel like my muscles are going to move and it's going to mess up the haircut. And it's a new person, and there's a bunch of people, and they're all looking at you, and they're all eavesdropping too. I don't like it. I don't like getting my hair cut. I like afterwards when my hair is cut.
What's your other honorable mention?
Granola bars.
Yeah.
I don't like granola bars.
One thing that I've noticed,
They're yucky.
I feel like we as a society don't produce enough variety of snacks.
Yeah.
Like we don't.
I agree.
We have chips, we have crackers.
Yeah.
Granola bars, as Ava says, granola bars.
Granola bars. Does she like granola bars?
Yeah, I think. I mean, as much as the average person. But
I like them.
I mean, there's not enough snack options. There really aren't. Maybe we need to eat some Algerian snacks.
Maybe.
That'd be
I bet
fun.
they have good snacks.
That'd be fun.
I don't like granola bars.
We should see if we can find some Algeria locals here in town and see if they can come over and check out the Kansas Nation studio, state of the art here on Mass Street.
I'll go through them real fast. So number 10 was, these are my top 10 things that people pretend to like. Number 10 was commuting to work. Number 9 was work retreats. Number 8, the board game Monopoly. Number 7, IPAs. Number 6, graduations. Number 5, newborn babies. Number 4, baths. Number 3, cold plunges. Number 2, gender reveal parties. And number 1, martinis.
I think number 2 would maybe be my number 1 if you do the /baby showers
slash
bridal showers. But yeah, I mean, that one absolutely is on there, and commuting to work. I mean, that's high for me too. I mean, I don't buy anybody who says that they like that. But anyway, Top 10 Tuesday has returned here on Rock Chalk Sports. After this, we're going to close things out. A word on Algeria versus Argentina coming up here in a couple hours at 8 p.m. kickoff, and then Brendan Sorsby news as well that we will fill you in on here on KansasNation.com. Wrapping things up here on KansasNation.com, Rock Chalk Sports. Dan, Custom Lawn and Landscape. Great partners of us.
Great partners. Spring and summer are made for backyard fun. And if you're like me, you got dogs running through the backyard, or you who have kids running through the backyard, family cookouts, anything like that going on in the backyard. Nothing ruins it faster than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. That's why families trust Custom Lawn and Landscape to help keep their lawns beautiful and protected all season long. Their home insect control program helps defend your yard from those pesky bugs so your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. And right now, when you sign up for the season, your first application is 100% free. That's right. The first application is 100% free. That's my favorite flavor and my favorite kind of pest control applications as well. It's a simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your first free application with a seasonal insect control program. Custom Lawn and Landscape, helping you love your lawn without the bugs.
Kansas City Stadium here in a couple hours. It's Algeria and Argentina. Algeria is plus 700. Argentina is minus 230. A draw is plus 350. Messi to score a goal is plus 105 for Argentina. And how about our guy Riyad Mahrez? He's plus 500 to score a goal. We're cheering for Team Algeria, if you couldn't tell, but that's at 8 p.m. tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow on Rock Chalk Sports. Dan, quick Brendan Sorsby news.
Yeah, so Brendan Sorsby will no longer be a Texas Tech Red Raider. He's planning to apply for the NFL supplemental draft. I like this decision by him. I think that public image was not being painted in a great light by him. Obviously, the Texas Tech, the judge in Texas wound up granting him eligible to play, while the Big 12 wound up suing the state of Texas and the state of Texas Attorney General, and it was a whole back and forth thing. Brendan Sorsby says, you know what, screw it. It's not worth it. Going to plan to enter the supplemental NFL draft. I don't know if he's an NFL guy. He might be. He reminds me of like a less athletic Jackson Dart, potentially.
Maybe.
But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so he will no longer be with Texas Tech, completely erasing this long, I don't know, saga.
What a disaster. I mean, it's good for the Big 12, honestly. It's good for college athletics. You had Georgia and Nebraska saying they're not going to play Texas Tech in any sport if they play Sorsby. And, yeah, this just needs to remain a thick red line. And it's good that this is kind of in the past and moving on. Hey, tomorrow we're going to recap Algeria, Argentina. We're going to talk more KU football. and a little Kansas women's basketball, much more. Plus, KU mailbag segment, Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com, LJWorld.com. A full show tomorrow on Rock Chalk Sports. For Elijah Schmidt and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying, join us tomorrow from 4 to 6 on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.